Okay, what up, fuckers? It's time for another Reddit's Racist Child video. I guess that's what I'm calling them now. I don't know, whatever. I have my coffee. Hold on. Anyway, I guess that's what I'm calling this series now, is Reddit's Racist Child. This is Black People Twitter, because I don't know why there's a subreddit called Black People Twitter. That's a whole nother video in itself, that this Black People Twitter and r/white people Twitter are both kind of racist. But anyway, I digress, people. Hi, fuck-tarts. So this is interesting. I found this, hold on, coffee. I found this on my commute yesterday and decided this is what I was going to talk about. I thought it was very interesting, to say the least, that this shows up on r/Black People Twitter. IDK this guy, but he's my hero. And he's her hero because he started his class with a presentation that said white privilege is your history being part of the core curriculum and mine being taught as an elective. Now, can anyone tell me what's wrong with that statement? Other than the fact I'm looking at the guy and he doesn't... Honestly, he looks Hispanic to me, but that's aside the point. I don't like this thing about separating the histories. White people history, black people history, Hispanic history. I hate that shit. Don't do that. It's all one history. It's all our history. My first thought when I saw this was, what? Like, what are you talking about? We learned about slavery and the civil rights and all that stuff when we were in school. I don't know what you're talking about. I mean, one of the top comments is, in this thread, white people saying that schools touched on black history, even though it was mainly slavery and the civil rights movement when it hit Black History Month. I'm going to say right here, when it hit Black History Month, is fucking just catastrophizing, right? It's hyperbole. No, we didn't just learn about it in fucking February, you moron. We learned about it all the time, okay? One comment that I really did like that got a lot of upvotes that mirrors what I said earlier is he not American? Doesn't that mean it's his history? Which I totally agree with. You are American. You're an American citizen. This is your history. Even if it's not American history, even if it's Canadian history, it's still the world history. It's all of our histories. It's our history as people. And the OP says history classes in the U.S. focus almost entirely on European history. U.S. history is its own subject usually. Do you know why that is? Because a lot of shit happened in the last 200 years, you fucking moron. Sorry, you're not a moron. I'm just mad. And another response is, yeah, slavery, post-slavery, and the civil rights era got glazed over in a month, typically the shortest month of the year. Now, that's bullshit. We didn't just learn about it during Black History Month, right? And this person says, as someone who is in multiple history classes in the U.S., I can confirm that you're wrong. I'm not sure which part he's talking about. U.S. history is its own subject, usually. That's not wrong, but history classes in the U.S. focusing entirely on European history is absolutely incorrect, because we had a world history class, and in the world history class, we learned about Russia and the Cold War, and we learned about Japan and China and the Industrial Revolution and South America and everything like that. Like, it isn't all white, guys. It's not whitewashed. This person says they didn't teach a shit about Native American history, Latin history, Asian history, or Black history. So I'm interested in how possibly could you not have learned about Asian history with Pearl Harbor? How? Did you not learn about Pearl Harbor? Did you not learn about the Industrial Revolution? Then you were in a shitty school and that has nothing to do with racism. This person says, I've only ever really had U.S. history. There's barely 200 years of U.S. history, and that's just the minimum requirement to number of centuries, so there isn't really that much. And then he says, don't misunderstand me. I know that white people don't deal with the same things, but what is his actual problem with this? There are far better things he could have said. This one is one of the weakest arguments. And OP responds, sorry, I should have specified world history is an actual fact, just European history. Which is absolutely and fucking correct if you went to my school. A lot of U.S. history focuses on the contributions of white Americans than anyone else. I think you missed a word there. Meanwhile, other races don't really have their contributions noted unless it's a specific month. But anything more and it's elective. So there's a couple more comments and stuff like that, but I wanted to just kind of point out that it's so strange to me that people forget India and Asia. It's amazing to me that people are just completely glossing over any Asian history that we very obviously learned. We learned who Gandhi was. You can walk down the street and ask somebody who Gandhi is because they learned about him in school, guys. Now, I wanted to point out a couple things that I think contribute to this issue. And one of them is History.com's timeline of Black history. This is really stupid, guys, and you should really fix it. Because it says the history of African Americans begins with slavery. I mean, if we're talking about semantics and we're talking about strictly African Americans, the Africans that came over here, then I suppose, yes, the African American culture started with slavery. But, I mean, their link says Black history milestones. This is not where Black history starts, you guys. It's where it starts in America. Anyway, these are most of the things that you will learn in U.S. history when you're going over the Civil War and civil rights and all that other stuff. You'll learn about Rosa Parks and Martin Luther King Jr. and Jackie Robinson and I Have a Dream speech, all that stuff. I also wanted to bring up the fact that we learned a lot about the Middle East in class. I was a freshman in high school when 9/11 happened. We learned, a lot about the Middle East, a lot about the things going on over there. And we actually, when I was in elementary school, we learned about the pyramids in Egypt and Egyptian culture and the fact that Imhotep was an actual person and lived till, I think, 90-something. And as much as the movie The Mummy would have you believe, Imhotep was actually dark-skinned. He was African, obviously, from Egypt, right? And he was a very well-known, well-loved person. He did a lot of really great things. What I found here was kind of interesting. Something that I didn't know was that Africa was a trade partner with Arabia and China. So I think that's really cool. And there's, Orthodox Christian Ethiopian monks for hundreds of years. There wasn't a lot of super in-depth, straight African culture. But if I'm being completely honest, there wasn't super straight Canadian or South American or anything because we're in America. We're definitely going to be learning about things that pertain to us a little bit more. So here's something interesting I found out about the Salem witch trials. Is the two African Americans that were accused in the Salem witch trials, at least according to this website, I don't honestly know if there were more, but at least according to this website, the two African Americans that were accused of being witches in the Salem witch trials were acquitted. I'm sorry, one of them was African American, one of them was Native American. Anyway, I don't know how to end these things. Tell me what you think and don't be nice about it. If you guys have anything that you want me to talk about, just let me know. All two of you. The main point of this video is that r/white people Twitter and r/black people Twitter is kind of racist. And kind of catastrophizing the race thing. There is no doubt in my mind that racism still exists in the world and in the US. No doubt in my mind. It obviously does. But it's not as prevalent as you think it is. It is not. Get off your high horse. Congratulations, Snoop, on your star. I'll stop now. Bye.